All right, the madness is upon us. Man, I'm so excited. We all just got done watching that Alabama State victory. Dude, never in doubt. Never in doubt. Alabama State making me money. Probably for the first and last time in my life. Alabama.
Real quick. Halftime. I'm at the gym. I'm texting the boys, and Eric's response is, "I bet the wrong team. I don't feel confident about any of my bets." And he's cashing bets already.
Never a doubt. Alabama State, baby. I think Mike's the only one that watched the whole game.
No, I only watched the last 8 minutes, so I only caught the entertaining part.
It was bad basketball, but we don't need to talk about it. All that matters is I made some money on Alabama State winning that game.
Go.
Hail Marys are not just for football, baby.
Man, it was sloppy. So we are talking round one, and we are talking day one, round one, which is Thursday. Man, y'all, I texted y'all this earlier. We need better names for the first two because the confusion that's happening, trying to figure out which day we're talking about. Like I said it earlier, I think the Sassy 64 should be a name. I think that should be a real name. Mike shaking his head like absolutely not.
The Thirsty 32, baby. Let's do it.
The Thirsty 32. Yeah. I just need something because round one Thursday is not a cool name to say, but that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So let's dive in. We are betting this in a number of different ways. We are really just bringing you our favorite bets of the day. We are not doing a bracket breakdown. That is not what we're about. On this show, we are getting you bets that hopefully you can just take straight to the window.
To the wall.
Just go put that bet in, and you don't have to do a ton of that research. We got you on a lot of the bets that we like. So let's go ahead and let's not waste any time. Let's jump in. Let's start with I know all of us, it seems like are on Clemson to win in some version of our parlays. I know this is one leg of a parlay for me for Clemson just to win. But before we do that, I believe Clemson right now is sitting as a 7.5 point favorite. Total is 133.5. I'm not going anywhere close to the total. I'm just going to take Clemson as part of a parlay on the money line. So this is the number 2 team in the ACC. They've won 15 of their last 17 games, including beating Duke in one of those games. McNeese is a scrappy defensive team, which, could just be kind of a pain for a little while. But I don't see this as one of the upsets of the first day. What about y'all?
No, I mean, I think Clemson's playing really good ball right now, man. They won 9 straight before losing in the ACC tourney to Louisville. And like McNeese has looked great at times, but the Southland Conference just isn't the same kind of competition that you're finding in the ACC. So I think they just get outplayed. I like the first half under in this game. I don't know if you guys are on like the first half under train like I am for March Madness. We're just
a big one. I like that you're doing it. Yeah.
Just blind bet the first half and
I did it
cross your fingers.
Years, the sports gambling podcast, Colby Danton friends.
Yeah.
They talked about it, so I did it. And then last year, it was just like kind of didn't really hit. And so now I'm like,
do I
want to sweat every single first half under? Because I will, because I'm that loser that actually will be sweating every single one.
It's not a fun bet, but yeah, it's supposed to hit. And I was with Stefan on a lot of those bets last year. And I remember it just not being fun. And honestly, it didn't do as well last year as historically it has.
Yeah.
But historically, you are right. You are correct.
Yeah.
That should
it just slams. But anyways, yeah, I just think McNeese is outmatched here. So I'm taking Clemson on the money line on one of my parlays.
Same. For all the same reasons. Same.
For all the same reasons. All right, Mike, why don't you throw out another?
Here's the thing. I sometimes, in general, on these 5-12 games, because there's always a 5-12 upset, these numbers get skewed by the public. And so you can actually find some value on the fives, especially on the money line in these situations. Clemson on the money line is minus 375. So like, it's not like it's a cheap money line parlay. Like we're paying up for it, but it's still something that you can add on that just feels like the right call. Sorry. How I feel about 5-12s in general.
And historically, the fives just don't make the deep run to begin with. So I feel like that historical data kind of plays in favor of this a little bit because it's kind of like, oh, it's a 5 seed. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Clemson's just a better team here.
Yep. All right, Mike, why don't you throw out whether it's a leg of a parlay you have or just a straight up pick you like? Why don't you take us there?
Yeah, I'll finish that parlay. I'm taking St. John's, but I'm teasing it down to minus 12.5 versus Omaha. That'll finish that parlay up at minus 139. St. John's, they've got this guy named Rick Pitino. They're really freaking good. I don't have any advanced metrics to throw at you here other than the fact that since 2017, only 4 games of a 15 seed versus a 2 seed, where the 2 seed did not win by at least 15 points. So history's on your side here, and we bought an extra 2.5 points. Omaha's just not great. St. John just playing really good ball with a really great coach. I don't know. It kind of seems too easy to win a little bit here.
I think that line's moved to 18.5. St. John's 18.5 favorite, like as we're sitting here, but it's going to move up and down a little bit. And like you're buying some points. I agree. St. John's should take care of business. We talked about them a little bit in the future show. So I love that you have them and you've mixed them in here. Stefan, you want to give us one of your favorite teams, either a parlay leg or a team to pick straight up?
I'm going to take you to the second game in the morning. We're going to go to Purdue versus High Point. Man, High Point getting all the love. Sorry, Purdue's going to shut them up real fast. They're going to take care of business. People forget, like, Purdue has been upset early in tournaments a lot. They also were just in the Final Four. Like, let's not forget that this is a good team. Yes, Eddie is gone, but they still are a good team. They're going to take care of business against High Point. So I just like this as part of a moneyline parlay. So give me the Purdue Boilermakers.
Dude, I'm with you. I got a couple. You're about to hear me talk about some of these that I'm like, I just don't buy the upset that people are trying. Like someone's just trying to sound smart so they can say I told you so. And picking some of these, and I just don't see it with a couple of them. And for me, like that, I'll just take that right to my next. Oh, sorry. Boilermakers, by the way, are 8.5 point favorites. So Stefan taking them just to pull off that win there as part of leg. 153 points is the total, high total in that game as well. I don't know. Maybe I'll look at an under opportunity there, but let's take you to the second leg. I mentioned Clemson as one leg, Texas A&M to win. So Texas A&M on the money line for me against Yale is going to be the second leg of that for me. So you know what? This is a really popular upset pick, Yale, just because Yale's done this before. They did it last year. Like Yale has done this. I just don't see it this year. Like outside of the really bad Ivy League that they play in, Yale was like 8-4 against other conferences, which isn't too impressive. And they lost to some bad teams. I just think A&M, a talented SEC roster, is going to be too much for Yale. I know that A&M kind of limped to the finish line. So maybe that's why we're getting like a little bit of a closer, point spread and why people are picking Yale over them. But we got Texas A&M as 7.5 point favorites. Again, I'm just going to take them to win. And I'm just not buying the Ivy League Cinderella this year. Is anyone else on Texas A&M? I didn't take, or we, does that about sum it up? All right.
No, I mean,
I don't have a play on it, but I love it.
I really wanted to take Yale because I lived in New Haven for a long time. So like I want to have money on them because I want to root for them. And I couldn't find a way to put them in there, Eric. So yeah, I like Texas A&M, I suppose.
That is all right. All right, Mike, let's keep going. Throw out something else for us that you like.
Yeah, I've only got one other play for the Thursday round. I'm going Georgia plus 6.5. It feels like football season all over again.
Homer pick.
Look, man.
Let's do it.
They're playing Gonzaga. Mike White, first-year head coach coming in from Florida, has this team playing really good basketball. They just made it to the SEC championship where they lost to A&M. But along the way, they beat Florida in that tournament. And then in the regular season, they beat St. John's. They beat Kentucky. They've played some really good ball, and Mike White is 4-0 in opening round games throughout his career. Zaga is just not the team they have been historically. and I like Georgia to keep it close. I wouldn't be too surprised if Georgia pulls off the upset here, but I'm just taking it safe, going plus 6.5.
Man,
I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side of this one.
You can screw yourself.
I'm not taking the spread. I'm taking the money line. I'm still taking Gonzaga.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
We could both win. You talk about how you've got this new coach and it's exciting. Well, let me show you the very opposite of that. Gonzaga, whose coach takes them to the Sweet 16 every goddamn year.
Yep.
Gonzaga, who, they're not the team they've been in recent history where they are going in as like a top 2 seed. But this is like the Gonzaga of my, I wasn't gonna say youth, but that's not true. It was like when I was 30, because I'm an old ass man. But my point being, Gonzaga's scrappy as hell. They're gonna win this game. The coaching advantage, I just think the experience, a lot of these guys have been there for a while. I like Gonzaga to get the win.
Is that Timmy guy still playing 10 years later? Do we have to watch Timmy? Do we have to watch 30-year-old Timmy run out there and dominate eligibility? 19-year-old?
Yeah.
We have certainly threaded finer needles than that. So I'm good for it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I guess that makes it my turn. Let's go ahead and let's talk about Kansas. I know I think Stefan and I are both talking about Kansas. This is not the Kansas team that we have seen, a dominant team, as much as we've seen. For some reason, they're only 4.5-point favorites here over Arkansas. I really believe that's because they're playing John Calipari. It's a John Calipari, Bill Self matchup in the first round. What a cool coaching matchup that is. Bill Self is 100% a better coach than John Calipari, Calipari being more of the recruiter. So give me the better coach and the better defense every time. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Jayhawks to win. I will also throw just 10-7 matchups I think are interesting. I just kind of looked historically, 62% of the time the 10 wins. So that was enough of a lean for me. And I think that Kansas, Calipari, man, I guess one last jab. I'm going to take a couple jabs at the SEC having 14 teams in this tournament. I know they're the best. I know they're the best basketball conference this year. But man, we got 2 8-10 SEC teams. They're 8-10 in conference. I don't know, man. I just don't buy it. Give me the Jayhawks and the better coach.
I'm with you there. They started the new year off with 5 losses in a row. Arkansas, that is. Yep. I know they've gotten hot as of late. They had a couple slip-ups before making a decent run in the SEC tournament. But to your point, I just don't buy it. I think that they kind of are going to play to their mean, which is not good enough to hang with. Like you said, maybe not a great Kansas team, but, better than Arkansas. So
I was looking at taking Kansas in a leg of a parlay, and then I looked back and remembered that they lost to my other homer team, Utah, this year. And Utah is freaking terrible at basketball, and that pushed me away from it. So hopefully that's an outlier for you.
That's so good. By the way, Kansas, I have them on the money line as part of a parlay. Is that what you had as well, Eric?
It is, yeah. And this will all make more sense when we go through our rundown of what we have as legs of parlays, what we're teasing, all that stuff. You'll see that on our kind of final slide when we talk through it. To run it down, Kansas is a 4.5-point favorite there, if I did not mention that. All right, Stefan, I think your last pick.
I still have a couple.
You got Michigan, I see.
I've got Michigan. So this is
Stefan this time.
And we have not talked about UCLA yet. Let's talk about Michigan. You go first with Michigan.
So I'm excited about this Michigan UC San Diego game because someone's going to be very, very wrong. The UC San Diego side are so certain this is going to be an upset and are excited about it. I, on the other hand, look at UC San Diego's schedule. They've played one decent team, and that was San Diego State, who
that's right.
We'll see what happens. And they lost. They lost that game. Michigan just won the Big Ten and looked fantastic. And now we're saying that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they're gelling at the right time, that they're working this out. They looked so good in that tournament. Give me Michigan on the money line. I'm parlaying this with another game. So,
dude, I'm gonna one up you and just take Michigan minus 2.5.
Such a good number.
They won the Big Ten conference championship.
You know what?
Dude,
let's ladder this bitch.
Add it.
Let's ladder it. Let's go up to minus 6.5.
Seriously,
a touchdown, baby.
Like you win, like you get a number 5 seed after winning the Big Ten championship, and now everyone's saying you're an automatic upset, dude. Yeah. Michigan is gonna come out and just be pissed about this. So I don't even have data. Like I'm not even gonna give you data. I'm just gonna say like, how does like it's San Diego's like first tournament appearance? Like what are we talking about here, man? But everyone is on San Diego. So yeah, I don't mean to get so fired about Michigan. I don't even care about Michigan that much. This is just a wild number. It's a wild number to me.
But I love this number.
I'll stop getting so mad about it. Let's talk about UCLA. Stefan, you want to kick us off? Why we're both taking UCLA just to win?
I mean, UCLA is a good team. Utah State has a terrible defense, like one of the worst defenses in the entire country. So I think UCLA can do enough to get a win here. I think Utah State's a good story. I think it was a fun run, but it's just not going to be enough. UCLA has the better athletes, so I'm going to go ahead and roll with them. Not a whole lot of analysis here. Just that Utah State defense is so bad.
Yeah, we're not talking about a great UCLA team. I'm not like sitting here with that. I'm just I said this yesterday in our shows, and it's probably similar to my jabs at the SEC, which is how the Mountain West has more than 2 teams in this tournament is baffling to me. And Utah State, like Boise's not like, man, get out of it. This is a popular upset pick. People are picking Utah State to beat UCLA, but like, dude, UCLA only allows less than 65 points a game. And like, honestly, like Utah State is 4-4 and are here because they beat Air Force, and here's who they beat in the Mountain West Conference tournament: Air Force and UNLV, and then they lost. Like, what? Like, those are 2 bad teams, and that somehow got them into this tournament. Give me UCLA, who has a really good defense, had to play the whole Big Ten gauntlet, and will just straight up win this game. I'm tempted now to take the minus 4.5 because I feel very angry for some reason. I'm going to keep moving on. I don't know why I'm so angry.
Fired up Eric is the most fun.
I don't care about these teams. I'm so mad about it. All right. I will take you. I'll keep going. Let me give you my last pick. It is a single pick. Man, I keep talking about like the hype and like making fun of other people for getting on underdogs. Man, give me Drake plus 6.5 against Mizzou, though. This Drake team actually is a legit tournament team. They are like the tournament darling. Like everyone else is like, oh, they'll upset and like they're good. But people are like, Drake are going to go to the Sweet 16. Like Drake has all of this. So, Mizzou is 5-7 in their last 12 games and really, really struggled to get here. They don't really have any defense to speak of. Drake has like a ton of seniors. They play amazing defense. Their offense is explosive. I don't know if that translates all against an SEC team, but I just don't think this is the right team. So I'll just take them plus 6.5, man. Like maybe I'm going to sprinkle them to win. You'll see that. I got to sprinkle a little half unit for them to just win this game straight up, but I like Drake here. Yep. Any thoughts? I mean, I'm a bigger Kendrick Lamar fan, but
oh, absolutely. Bigger. There's not even it's not even competition.
Who's not? All right. Before we get to Stafe, we're going to let Stafe walk us through a little bit of something. Did we miss any picks?
I just want to throw out there, no. I have written down on my piece of paper Creighton plus 2.5 versus BYU, but it didn't make it to the show. This is going to be one that I just do in the privacy of my own home with the windows shut and the curtains drawn.
We do a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
Usually with a little lotion and
hold on.
Good times.
Clarification. You said Creighton versus BYU?
You mean VCU?
Sorry, yeah. No, Creighton.
Nope, they're playing Louisville.
Creighton, Louisville. Creighton plus 2.5. Sorry, thank you for that. BYU was another one that was on the cutting floor.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I also like Creighton 2.5.
Stefan, why don't you walk us through a little round robin theory, and then we're going to run this down.
So as you've heard us talk, we have mentioned liking a lot of teams on the money line who maybe the juice is a bit too much to play on its own. For example, Kansas is minus 198 to win outright. So you might not want to play that on its own. So we've mentioned like parlaying that with another game. So you mix and match all the different teams that we mentioned here. And I'm going to run those down real quick. And you can put together your own numbers. So we have Michigan. All of these are to win, just to win. No spread involved, just to win outright. Michigan minus 148, Kansas minus 198, UCLA minus 230, Gonzaga minus 265, Texas A&M minus 325, Clemson minus 340, and Purdue minus 375. So if you're watching on YouTube, much easier to follow along. But what I did basically is you take one of these teams that has the best price, like Michigan at minus 148, and you parlay that with Purdue minus 375, and that ends up getting you like plus 112. So you take these two favorites, one is like a double-digit favorite, one is like a 2.5-point favorite, but you mix them together and you end up getting a bet that you can do. The other way you can play it is a round robin, where you enter in all of these bets as multiples, and basically you can choose how many of these you want to parlay together, and it does it for you automatically. So what I like to do is a full round robin, which means you're parlaying like A versus B, A and B and C, A, B, C, and D, so on and so forth. So when you have like 7 or 8 inputs in a round robin, it ends up being like 75 bets or something like that. So you're going to decrease your unit size significantly because you're doing so many parlays. And at these numbers, you're going to have to hit like most of them. If you round robin with a bunch of minus 110s and close to even monies, you only have to hit half to really have a big payday potential. But when you're putting in some of these with like minus 340, it ends up getting crazy. But anyway, I like that that approach as well with all the money line parlays. But now, instead of going through all that in any more depth, I think this is probably the part of the show that you tell everyone where they should follow us, Eric.
Absolutely. No, that's great, man. I appreciate it. I don't think everyone understands when you go to the casino, they don't understand that round robin feature. You might have seen it on your DraftKings app. It's there. Play around with it, put some unit sizes in. It's a good time. It's a good time. So yeah, this is the part of the show where I tell you to go follow us on all the stuff. YouTube, subscribe, like, all of that good stuff. Anywhere you get your podcasts, especially, we'll have episodes for you all through the next few weeks talking about this tournament. We'll maybe even have some other episodes coming at you if you like to bet on golf and some of these other things too. So go do all of that. But we like to run down and give you kind of all of our picks in summary here at the end of the show. So if you fast forward to the end, congratulations. You made it here. Let's go ahead and run it down. I'm going to start us off with, I have a little parlay of Clemson to win and Texas A&M to win. Both are favorites, but you get that at minus 147. I will also take Kansas and UCLA to both win at plus 115. Give me Drake plus 6.5 versus Mizzou, and then Michigan minus 2.5 against UC San Diego.
Love it. I'm going to take in my Big Ten special, we're going to go Purdue to win plus Michigan to win, and we get that at plus 112. We're going to go Kansas to win and Clemson to win at minus 106. I'm going to take a little West Coast action with UCLA and Gonzaga, both to win their matches, and that's at minus 103.
I'll wrap us up with a parlay of Clemson on the money line with St. John's minus 12.5. And then Georgia at plus 6.5 versus Gonzaga.
Awesome. Check out all of our other episodes for all the other rounds, and we will see you all over there.